Ekiti State Governor Fayose has declared that the People's Democratic Party, PDP, is no longer Nigeria's leading opposition party, attributing its decline to internal division rather than the ruling All Progressive Congress. In an interview with Arise News, Fayose highlighted former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi as a major political figure to watch ahead of the 2027 elections. He noted that Obi's reported deflection to the African Democratic Congress, ADC, had significantly increased the party's relevance. Joining me on set to have this conversation is highly respected political analyst here at First Next News, is no other person than Kings Ojalo. Hello, Kings.
Hello, Cassie.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Like, you look exceptionally different. What's the secret?
As always.
You're always appearing with different kinds of suits.
As always.
It seems I'll come borrow suits from you.
No problem. Whenever
you
need
look
it.
amazing, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Okay, following the trending issues in the society, you know, Fayose is saying that Peter Obi's defection to the ADC is a huge relevance to the party members. You know, what do you really have to say about it?
First of all, late last year, the defection of that is December, when the former governor of Anambra State defected to the ADC. He made it known to everyone that he is not a new person in the ADC. He also emphasized more on his continuous engagement with the ADC, despite being in another party, which is the Labour Party and thereabout. You understand? So, one thing about the former governor of Anambra State, that is Peter Obi, you know, wherever he proclaim himself, wherever he places himself, you know, he brings a limelight to the affair of that political party or thereabout. He's always a prominent.
The hot cake in town.
Well, not just a hot cake, but he's always a prominent person. And when someone becomes prominent, you know, it depends on your you know, what your legacies and thereabout. And so when the Fayose made that statement, you know, he's trying to let those in that same coalition know that, look, it seems as if their own presence is not relevant. That of Peter Obi. But nevertheless, you know, I don't think everyone is relevant in their own states. You understand? Exactly. But your attribute matters. You understand? Your contributions in the affair of the society, the state, wherever you have ruled in your previous administration matters, and it will definitely tell on you. So I think, and from his own statement, that is the life of Fayose, he is trying to also let everyone in that same coalition that, look, if anybody has a chance to stand against, you know, the ruling party, the APC, is the life of still Peter Obi, you understand? Well, but if you look at it, he also made some criticisms on the other individuals who talking about the life of Atiku, former governor of Rivers State, talking about by the name Amechi, and also Erufai and thereabout. But if you look at these people has the political party which they're based in right now. But the life of Fayose, the question is, which political party does he really? Because if you, the last time I checked, I think it was among those who were suspended. You understand? Yes, he's still in the PDP just as a claim. But if you look at it, he was suspended. So when someone is, you know, making making critics, you should also know your stand. You understand? That is that for Fayose. Now, nevertheless, coming back to Peter Obi, I think Peter Obi has really made wave, you know, politically in the affairs of in ADC, and also even when it was a PDP, we know how effective it was. You understand? So now it all comes down to the primary. The primary will now decide who will emerge as the leading prominent person to contest the presidency under that party platform. So Fayose coming out to say, you know, fine, he has really given kudos to Peter Obi, but nevertheless, let us wait for the primary to come. You know,
but he didn't really say whether Obi is going to win the upcoming election.
Nobody knows.
The fact that
nobody knows.
Yeah,
nobody knows.
The fact that Atiku has already said he's not stepping down for.
Of course, nobody is expected to. Nobody tend to step down for anybody. Just like I said, the primary will determine who will become the rival of that party system. You understand? So if I actually say, Obi, that is his own opinion. Just as I usually say, everyone is entitled to his own opinion. But nevertheless, it all comes down to the primary. So when the primary takes place, that will determine who is the main person to contest presidency in that party.
All right, thank you so much, Kings. Yeah. Deadly daylight attack on Benin Ore Expressway in Edo State. On Thursday, it was reported that there was an attack along the notorious Okada axis of the Benin Ore Expressway in Edo State. We were informed that gunmen attacked that particular axis, and then there was a gun fire, there was shooting, and they ended up killing one motorcyclist. And this thing happening in this country, and yesterday it was also reported around 10 p.m. yesterday that there was also an attack in Niger State killing over 6 people. Does it really mean that this our country we're no longer safe?
Well, the safety of the citizens is being determined by, as I usually say, our leaders. But when we have a weak
leaders.
I'm heading somewhere where we have weak security apparatus. That is, people who don't really know their major positions in the security affairs of our country. Definitely, if you look at for a long period of time now, you understand, even with the cases of bandits and thereabouts, you understand, bandits are not just, if you look at it, they didn't just categorize themselves only probably on churches, worship centers, market, and there. You can see that it has influenced even on our highway. We're talking about expressways all over the country, which it shows that our security forces are really not putting much effort. Yes. Usually I would say the president has not really given much orders, but if you look at it, why now I said the security are not really putting much effort. Now we know about the various checkpoints in our expressway, on our highway. Now the question is this: these checkpoints that are being positioned, most times when I travel to my state, Edo State, that is my state precisely, when I travel there, I can count the number of checkpoints
on the road. So where do these
Percy, I can tell you that if you are traveling from Lagos,
there are always checkpoints at every interval.
You can count not less than 50 to 55 checkpoints before you get to Benin.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, these checkpoints are contained by security forces.
Exactly.
Before you meet vigilantes, from vigilantes you meet the custom, from the custom you meet the army, security, and thereabout. Now, why I said earlier on that they are not really putting much effort is because these people based in just one, they are just based on that checkpoint without even knowing what's really happening in the environment. I might not be in that scenario, but I know for the fact that before that where that environment, that incident happened, we definitely, if you go and make your research, you will discover that maybe 2 or a kilometer away, you discover that there's a checkpoint. So what is now the issue? What are our security? They should know their purpose, because you can't tell me that this what they call them, gunmen or thereabout, flew from the air, and start attacking motorists, passengers, and even as far as kidnapping some of the passengers. And we know for the fact that this Benin Ore road is a very commercial road in Nigeria. This is one of the most commercial roads in there, because people who are traveling from Lagos to the south to the east take this route. You understand?
Yeah.
I know. Yes, there's a construction ongoing. There is a Lagos Calabar expressway. Probably if that commences, maybe they might still have routes through that places. But for now, Benin Express Road is the major route where people travel to the east, to the south, and other, eastern part of Nigeria. So definitely this should be one of the most secure routes in our Nigeria. But unfortunately, our security forces, they fail to carry out their missions on how to secure the life of people, of travelers, of motorists, and thereabouts. And also, the chief security should make good measures in giving pointing to these various locations and making sure that they are mandated to their various, and again, not just by building checkpoints, but also following up, knowing what is happening in the environment. You see I'm not saying they don't know yet, but at the same time, when you are making your what they call it, your thorough checks and thereabout, make sure you are doing it diligently.
Okay, when you say follow-up, is it the government that will actually come out to do this follow-up, or they will employ like a spy, someone to spy to ensure that the security...
That is not even the case, and it's not expected for the government to do it. As in, they should give them more. There should be a thorough investigation on most of these suspected.
How do they carry out these investigations?
Simple. Like I recall when I had a journey and thereabouts, most of our motorists, most of our security forces, usually, just, if you look at the system of our security forces, this corruption aspect and thereabouts, maybe one of these commercial drivers just pass by, they collect money from there. What else? They allow them pass. Unknowingly to them, you can tell that maybe unknowing to them something might be going on in those in those vehicles, but fortunately they are not really taking out the actual tax which they are sent for. So if this corrupt engagement could stop within our security forces, definitely we could see this menace coming to an end.
All right, thank you so much, King. So we'll go on a short break now. When we return, we'll be discussing Nnamdi Kanu's honor. Stay with us. Welcome back to the show on First Next News. I remain your amazing host, Kasitoni, and with me on set is Kings Ojalo. So we're diving straight to Nnamdi Kanu's honor. We're informed that Nnamdi Kanu, that's the indigenous people of Biafran, their president or their leader to be precise, was honored as Georgia in United States of America. So why would someone that is wanted in the country, in Nigeria, he's not valued, he's been seen as a terrorist, but abroad he's been given an honor, he's been honored? Like, what does it really mean? Does it mean that this country does not really know the value of who or what they have?
It's actually this will actually also tell on our judiciaries that they should really make more investigation in the case of Nnamdi Kanu. We all know Nnamdi Kanu, his relevances, in the Eastern Nigeria affairs. Yes, also being the leader of the Biafra and thereabouts. You understand? This is one person who has really backed down. You understand? Or what would I say? Surrender to some. Probably should I use the word negotiations of the federal government and thereabouts. But nevertheless, he was accused and tried of terrorism based on statements, allegations and things he might have been founded, wanted and thereabout. But nevertheless, with this award, it shows that indeed he has been so relevant, and it says that we have been told that yes, he has been fighting for freedom of a nation that he dreamed that will take place. You understand? So now that he has been given this award, and not just from any other country, from the United States itself. So to show you that how prominent and how relevant and how he has really conspired, people not just within the country but also in diaspora. You understand? Right, yeah. So I really think this should also be a wake-up call from the federal government to also look deep. You understand? If he's being recognized as a prominent person outside the country, then why should he be classified as a terrorist in Nigeria? You understand? So I think there should also be a check on this case. You understand? Yeah. Whatever the judge might have sentenced it for, fine. Probably it might be against the law, but I don't know. But nevertheless, there should be a checkmate on the case of Nnamdi Kanu.
Okay, thank you so much, Kings. Thank you for joining us. It's really been a pleasure having you on each of our shows. So we've come to the end of the show. Thank you so much for staying tuned. To you, our amazing viewers, thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay engaged. Till I come your way again, I remain your amazing host, Cassie Tony. Have a blessed day.